Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the Golden Era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I'd like to ask the question, could Bronze Era bodybuilders have practiced a form of the Nucleus Overload System? After recently presenting Eugene Sandow's Light Dumbbell System, a video which went viral and received over 170,000 views, I received many inquiries as to whether it was an early form of the Nucleus Overload System. And to be honest, this got me thinking. Here we have photographic evidence that over 100 years ago, Bronze Era bodybuilders were training with light to moderate weight every single day and achieving fantastic physiques. So there could be some logic and truth to this possibility. So today I'd like to indulge this line of thinking and compare the Nucleus Overload System to that of the Light Dumbbell System. Finally, I'd also like to showcase the incredible physiques such as those of Bobby Pandour and Eugene Sandow as shown here, and display the kind of results that such men in the Bronze Era achieved by training with light weights every day, and ask, was the Light Dumbbell System of training an early form of the Nucleus Overload System? Enjoy. Firstly, let's address the question, what is the Nucleus Overload form of training? Well, this is thought to be a relatively new concept of training. However, in all honesty, this system of bodybuilding probably has been practiced in one form or another for well over a century. The Nucleus Overload training principle is defined as working a target muscle every single day with low to medium weight for a period of 30 days and then having a long rest to recover. And the idea behind this is that you overload the muscle cells with more myonuclei, which produces a lot of hypertrophy in the aftermath when you rest. And although this method of training has not yet been scientifically proven, an earlier form of training in the Bronze Era may suggest that it is a valid form of training that is now being actually resurrected in the current generation of lifters. Indeed, the Nucleus Overload system of training appears to be very similar to the Light Dumbbell System as practiced in the Bronze Era. If we break down the Light Dumbbell System of training, we find that Bronze Era bodybuilders used light weights such as 5 to 10 pounds for very high repetitions using bodybuilding exercises or performing bodybuilding exercises. And most of the bodybuilding exercises were performed for the upper body, and using these very light dumbbells you would perform deliberate muscular contraction and really develop that mind-muscle connection, really working the muscle. This kind of system of training was practiced every single day, and many reported achieving very muscular physiques within the first 3 to 6 months of training. It was actually recommended for beginners, for beginner bodybuilders that is, to train under this system for 3 to 6 months prior to heavier forms of weightlifting. And the reason was that it formed a good foundation of strength and muscle, of course. However, regardless of the photographic evidence that exists that tends to prove that this method pretty much worked, many people still do not accept it as a legitimate way of gaining muscle. Regardless, when we compare the two, that is the Light Dumbbell System, to the Nucleus Overload form of training, both advocate the use of the light weights, very light weights, when performing bodybuilding exercises, and that one should exercise in a very high rep range. For example, we're talking about 50 to 100 repetitions per set. That's what I've actually seen on the internet. Some people perform anywhere between 50 to 100 repetitions per set, and that even several sets should be performed. Further, one should follow this form of training, of either form of training, that is the Light Dumbbell System or the Nucleus Overload training method, every single day for a prolonged period of time. And after this prolonged period of time, you're expected to see results. Now, if we look at the main difference between the Light Dumbbell System, is that with the Nucleus Overload form of training, the main difference that I can see is the length of the course of the program being longer in the light dumbbell system of training. So I would be of the opinion that the light dumbbell system is very similar or almost exactly the same as the Nucleus Overload Training principle. It obviously worked for Eugene Sandow, and as we shall see, it worked for many others too back in the Bronze Era. Of course, another example of a Bronze Era athlete that developed his physique using the light dumbbell system of training is Bobby Pandour. Bobby Pandour famously said that he used 10-pound dumbbells to perform bodybuilding exercises every single day using the methods he had learned from Professor Attila. He was a student of Professor Attila, as was Eugene Sandow, who both learned the light dumbbell system from him. They performed this form of training every single day. Plus, Bobby Pandour also had the habit of forever tensing and flexing his muscles. So now we have even, you could say, greater repetitions performed on his musculature, not just using the light dumbbell system, but by also performing just deliberate muscular contractions all day long, flexing his muscles all day long to develop his muscular physique. So here's another great example of an athlete that used similar methods to the Nucleus Overload Training principle. Now, if you think that Eugene Sandow and Bobby Pandour are just two isolated cases, well, you're absolutely wrong. In the Bronze Era athlete, there were many teachers that used to teach the light dumbbell system because there were many students from Professor Attila. Here is another one, Albert Treloar, or Treloar, I'm not sure how to say his name, also known as Al Treloar, who used 5-pound dumbbells. Another student of Professor Attila to perform bodybuilding exercises, again, focusing a lot on his upper body, really focusing on performing deliberate muscular contractions for high repetitions. He would follow this form of training every single day, and again developed a quite muscular physique. Another example is Lionel Strongfort, also an advocate of the light dumbbell system, another student of Professor Attila who also used 5-pound dumbbells to develop his physique, using these dumbbells to perform bodybuilding exercises, again focusing on his upper body for high repetitions, really deliberately contracting his musculature every single day to develop his muscular physique. Now, when we look at other Bronze Era athletes who may not have necessarily performed the light dumbbell system, still the whole principle of contracting the muscle for high repetition seems to be a common factor, especially when we look at the physiques of Alan Mead and others. Alan Mead, for example, who I featured recently, who suffered an amputated leg after World War I, or during World War I, actually used pulleys, where he performed bodybuilding exercises on pulley stations, mostly for his upper body, again really focusing not on the weight, but on deliberate muscular contractions, and also was a student of the Maxalding system of muscular control, where again he would perform many muscular contractions every single day. So we have this very common factor of these athletes focusing on muscular contraction workouts every single day, using either light dumbbell systems or other methods. Another example of an athlete that really focused on performing muscular contractions every single day to develop a muscular physique was Fred Rollon, who used a different tool. I mean, I don't think it really matters much about the tool. We could use pulleys, we could use light dumbbells, or now we're talking about chest expanders, which is basically a different type of cable or pulley. He used chest expanders to really contract his musculature and develop his fantastic muscular physique as displayed in this amazing photo. And as a final example, we have the very famous Otto Arco, who also famously built his physique using chest expanders as well as other methods to also perform muscular contractions every single day to develop his fantastic muscular physique. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Bronze Era methods of training, I have several books up online now, new ones especially, such as Lionel Strongfort's courses, The Science of Muscular Development by Al Treloar, and finally, of course, a series of books written by Eugene Sandow, all describing the very similar methods of the light dumbbell system with some differences, I guess, between each author. all available on my website www.goldenerabookworm.com. So now that we've compared the light dumbbell system of training as performed in the Bronze Era to now the Nucleus Overload Training principle, it is very obvious to see why many people believe that this Nucleus Overload training principle basically is just a resurrected form of the Bronze Era light dumbbell system. Yes, when you compare the two, they do appear very, very similar with only slight differences. And photographic evidence suggests that it definitely worked in the Bronze Era. It by no means is the only method to gain muscle. And I still definitely believe that there should be some scientific research in this form of training to truly see the mechanisms that may lie behind this form of training, because photographic evidence from the Bronze Era definitely suggests that this form of training works, that it probably induces muscle hypertrophy as claimed by many of the athletes back then. I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm, leave me a comment, and thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my research, please donate via PayPal, become a patron, or visit my website www.goldenerabookworm.com for what may possibly be the original Nucleus Overload Training courses as offered by Eugene Sandow, Lionel Strongfort, our Treloar, and many, many more. There's many, many books on my website, so check it out. And if you'd also like to get in touch with me, email me at goldenerabookworm@gmail.com, especially if you want to pass on any books and magazines from your own collection to add to mine, as I'm always trying to amass further knowledge. That's it for me. Hope you've enjoyed the video. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.
Hi everybody, I just want to recommend this phenomenal book, Vince's Secret Locker, volume number 2 by Carl Coyne. I've been looking at this for about 4 weeks and I can't put it down. If you get a chance, check it out. He also has a part 1 that I highly recommend also. Vince was the trainer to the stars and had an amazing, interesting gym that today there's still not equipment like it around. It was all made out of wood. He'll be on our radio show coming up probably in the next couple weeks or so. Have a great day, and again, highly recommend this book.